Welcome to this video. I decided to make a short video about the permanent signs. So these are signs that are to be left after the miracle, and they've been announced at Garabandal and also at Medjugorje. Now, there's been a couple of prophecies that I think we need to take seriously. One is from Maria Esperanza, and she is someone who was known as the Padre Pio of South America, and her cause is under consideration as well. So she has the status of servant of God. And she had said that permanent signs will appear everywhere that our Blessed Mother has appeared. And Manuela Strack has said something similar as well. Now, I like to be above board and transparent with what I'm doing. So normally I just speak about saints and also apparitions that are approved, with a couple of exceptions of Garabandal and Medjugorje, which are both very public apparitions. But in the case of Manuela Strack, the investigation by the church is still ongoing, has not been finalized. There's no decision. And from what I see and have heard about Manuela Strack, we should take her seriously as well, unless the church comes in with a negative decision. But even if it were just Maria Esperanza, I think that we would need to take this very seriously. So a little background for some who may not be that familiar is in Garabandal, there are these prophecies regarding the coming warning and the miracle and the permanent sign. So the warning would occur first. The miracle would occur also in the hill that has the pines known as Los Pinos in Garabandal, and it will be followed by the permanent sign that will be left there after the miracle. And now at Medjugorje, there are 10 secrets, and we know the third to be the permanent sign. So the question that I'm receiving is regarding how similar will they be? So how corresponding will they be between Medjugorje and Garabandal? And it's an excellent question because it raises the question of, one, in Garabandal, whoever is there present during the miracle when it occurs would be healed of any ailment that they have. So the question is, would that happen at Medjugorje as well? And also, everything I think regarding what's been stated at Garabandal, we cannot assume that there will be a corresponding event in Medjugorje. So, as an example, perhaps the miracle only occurs in Garabandal and not in Medjugorje, but both have permanent signs. We don't know because we don't know all the 10 secrets of Medjugorje. And also the timing, even the timing. We can't assume that the timing would be exactly the same. In other words, when the miracle is announced by Conchita at Garabandal, will the miracle also be announced in Medjugorje at the same time? Maybe there's a gap in time between the two, or even, like I said, if the miracle doesn't occur at Medjugorje, maybe there's a gap in time between when the permanent sign occurs there as well. So the other question that I have is, there's a date of March 18th in Medjugorje that is deemed to be important. And we are told from the seers in Medjugorje that we'll understand what the import of that date is as the miracles are announced. So obviously it's related to one of the secrets. Now, the first two secrets we know very little about, but if they do correspond to Garabandal, it would be safe to assume that one would be the warning. Now, the date of March 18th just happens to tie together with what we know about the warning from Mary Lowly of Garabandal. The late Mary Lowly stated that the warning would occur either 3 months or 3 weeks before the miracle. And we know from good sources that the miracle should occur in April. So 3 weeks prior to the time in April when Conchita mentioned that it would occur, which would be the 8th through the 16th of April, inclusive of those dates, that would take us roughly to around March 18th. So March 18th could either be the announcement of the warning at Medjugorje, or it could be the warning itself. And of course, this is somewhat speculative that the warning is even part of the first two secrets. But it makes sense. It makes sense that it would be, because no one at Garabandal is going to announce the warning. And we know that the secrets in Medjugorje are to be announced. At Garabandal, the only thing that will be announced will be the miracle. So one of the questions also that I've heard a number of times is that when the warning occurs, it will not be any secret, or it will not be any surprise that the miracle will occur in April. And for those who are familiar with Garabandal, I would expect that when the warning does occur, that Garabandal will be inundated with pilgrims wanting to go to Garabandal for the miracle. So it makes sense that the warning, if there is a close correspondence between Medjugorje and Garabandal regarding the timing and the content of events, it makes sense that the warning would be one of the first two secrets of Medjugorje. And I believe I heard that one of the first two would be something that would prove that the Medjugorje apparitions are authentic. And it could be something that's relevant only to the area of Medjugorje, or it could be something more universal. This we don't know. But I thought I'd like to share some thoughts about it. And there's quite a bit that we don't know. So I went looking for other sources and to see if I could find anything related to the miracle that we discussed. And I did find one thing in Father Gobi's writings, his blue book, and it's regarding the cross. It's very similar to the cross as described by St. Faustina in her diary. So let me read a couple passages. They're very short, and I think that these are very helpful as well. So the first one is the bright cross, which will extend from east to west and will appear in the heavens, will be the sign of the return of Jesus in glory. And the second passage, the bright cross, which will appear in the heavens at the end of the purification and tribulation, will be the door which opens the long and dark sepulchre in which humanity is lying. to lead it into the new reign of life, which Jesus will bring with his glorious return. So it appears that the miracle is being described as the cross, which is something similar to what St. Faustina seen in a vision, as I mentioned, a large crucifix with light appearing from the wounds of Jesus from the cross. And one of the key points here in this reading I just did was that the cross will extend from east to west and will appear in the heavens. So we know at Garabandal that the miracle, although not described, because they don't feel like they can describe it freely, it was described as being seen. In other words, you could see it as long as you were anywhere on the horizon. And it was also mentioned that the Pope would see it wherever he was. And also that what it definitely relates to today, because it talks about the purification and the tribulation which our Blessed Mother tells Father Gobi that we are in. Now, the idea of it being east to west, you could look at it a couple of different ways if you just looked at this passage. Is one, it would be in the heavens that everyone could see in the entire world from east to west. Or you could look at it like according to what Manuela Strack and Maria Esperanza have said, that it will occur in every place that our Blessed Mother has appeared. And if you look at every place that our Blessed Mother has appeared, it's all over the world. It's in every continent. It's from Japan to Africa. It's all over. It's in Europe, everywhere you could think of. So in a sense, it would be universal if that occurs in that manner. So I thought you'd be interested in hearing about this cross. And if that is the miracle, that makes a lot of sense. And since we're talking about it, I'll just go a little bit further. Manuela Strack says that it will be, the permanent sign will be a column of fire and smoke. The interesting aspect about that is what the Jews followed as they left Egypt and they followed it through the desert. It was a column of smoke during the day and a column of fire at night. Well, I hope you enjoyed listening to this. Some of us enjoy it more than others. I hope you enjoyed listening to this, and thank you for watching, and God bless.